If you want to know exactly what you need to do every single day to say goodbye to constipation for good and make complete healthy bowel movements your new daily norm, you're in the right place. After struggling with chronic constipation and IBS for over 10 years, I was able to fully overcome that. I went from having about 2 to 3 bowel movements a week to having near daily bowel movements, and have been having near daily bowel movements for the past 7 years. I know how bad it feels to have constipation and how much better life is when you have regular elimination. So I wanted to make a checklist that you can go over every single day and make sure that you're doing those things every single day to help you overcome constipation. Now, I actually made this checklist for my clients to help them, but I wanted to share it with all of you as well. So these are going to be the same things that help me overcome my constipation and the things that I've noticed help my clients overcome their constipation and start having those daily healthy bowel movements. So people like my client Peter, who overcame his constipation in 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, he was having 2 complete bowel movements nearly every day. My client Alexa, who used to have 3 bowel movements a week, and she started having 5+ healthy bowel movements a week in just 8 weeks of working together. My client Mary, who went from having 4 bowel movements a week to having near daily bowel movements after about 8 weeks. And my client Jewel, who overcame her 3 years of constipation in a month, and after a month she was having daily complete bowel movements. So there will be a copy of this checklist down below, so you can look there if you want to have a written copy to just look over every single day. But I will also explain everything in a little bit more detail in this video. So let's get into the daily constipation checklist. Now, you want to do the following every single day to make effortless complete bowel movements your new daily norm. Okay, number 1 is drink 8 flow-ounce cups of hydrating beverages. I know this is a cliche, but it is very important. So you want to drink that much, or the amount that quenches your thirst and makes your urine a pale yellow color. If you have clear urine, you're drinking too much. If you have a medium to darker yellow, you're not drinking enough. So you want to drink things like water with a pinch of a quality mineral salt in it, or some mineral drops, coconut water, bone broth, meat stock, aloe juice, just juice in general, but a pure one, not one with added sugar. Sparkling water mixed with juice. I like sparkling water with lime juice, or sparkling water with grapefruit juice is really good. Something that is not just plain water, something that has minerals in it and will hydrate you well. That will help a ton. The second thing is you want to drink 2 8 flow-ounce cups of bone broth or meat stock every day. So an 8 flow-ounce cup is just a standard measuring cup. So a lot of glasses or mugs are already 2 cups, because they'll be 16 ounces. So yeah, you want to have bone broth or meat stock. Homemade is definitely best. This will help a lot. And note that this counts for 2 out of your 8 cups of hydrating beverages. So it does count towards that. And this will just really help to hydrate your colon. It will help to repair any damage in your colon. It'll give your body a lot of nutrients and minerals that you need. So this is a very important step. It'll also help heal any other gut issues you have. Okay, you also need to move your body. So you want to do moderate to intense exercise at least 4 days a week. So this could be something like weight training or running. And then you want to do lighter movements like stretching or going on a walk on other days. And also just aim to get non-exercise related activity in regularly, especially if you have a desk job. You don't want to be sitting all day. So cooking or cleaning or going and running errands or going on walks or playing with your kids or anything like that is going to be actually really beneficial. You need to move your body to help get your colon moving. The fourth thing is to give yourself a relaxed opportunity to go. So every single time that you get the urge to have a bowel movement, you want to give yourself the opportunity to go. If you ignore urges, they can start to go away. So that's a really bad habit. Every once in a while, you might get an urge and a time you just cannot go. And it's okay every once in a while, but really try to limit that. So if you don't get urges, you're going to want to try to go around the same time every day. So every day you should try to go. If you get an urge, go with your urge. If you're not getting an urge, just make this time. So you want to do this the time that you're most likely to get an urge or the time you're most likely to get a bowel movement. For most people, this is going to be in the morning, more specifically after breakfast. And if you drink coffee, definitely after coffee, that can help stimulate a bowel movement. Yeah, so you want to pick a time that you can relax as well. So that's another factor when you're picking your time. You don't want to go try 10 minutes before you have to rush off to school or work or something like that. You want to make sure you really have time to relax and let yourself go. So you want to, during this time, sit on the toilet for at least 10 minutes. I'd prefer if you do for 15 or 20 minutes, or until you go. So then you want to relax, and instead of focusing on having a bowel movement, read, watch a video, look something up, journal, just do something different to take your mind off having a bowel movement. Stress or putting pressure on yourself to go both inhibit your body from being able to actually have a bowel movement. So you want to think of this as a relaxed opportunity. You don't have to go, but you have the option to go, and really trust your body. To this day, I still do this the same way. And once in a blue moon, I miss a day. But other than that, I go 1 to 2 times pretty much every single day. But those rare occasions where I don't go one day, I just go, you know what? My body knows what to do. It just doesn't have it today. I'll probably go extra tomorrow, and the next day I usually just go a little extra and it's all fine. So really cultivate that trust in your body and try not to worry so much. I promise you, you're not broken. Your body knows how to heal and it knows how to have bowel movements. So then, get in that habit, do that every day. Any day that you're not already having a bowel movement or an urge, make sure you're sitting there. Also note, if you have incomplete bowel movements, you might want to sit on the toilet longer. So if you go within a few minutes of sitting down, but it's just a tiny bit, maybe it's those little rabbit pellets or just a little bit of some dry hard stools or a little bit of a different kind of stool, then I would say sit there longer, because sometimes more will come out later if you relax. All right, next thing is sit in a squat-like position with your knees above your hips. This will help align your colon properly and make it easier to go. If you think about it, in nature, what animals do and what we would have done is squat down to have a bowel movement. This actually aligns your colon properly, so it makes it easier to go. So you want to do the same kind of thing now. So you can full-on squat on the toilet if you want, or you can kind of mimic this position by just getting your feet up higher. So you can put your feet on the front of the toilet and then just kind of sit back further. Or you can get a squatty potty. You can take a trash can and dump it upside down. Obviously take the trash out first and put your feet up on top of that. Just put that right in front of the toilet. So get into a comfortable position where your knees are above your hips, and that will help you go. Okay. You also want to massage your colon with what's called the I love you massage. So I have a whole video that explains how to do that. So I'll link it up above and down below as well. But this is a massage to help move things in your colon. It's actually interesting. I did this kind of instinctively as a kid when I was constipated. I would massage at my stomach and I was like, I'm going to push the stools into the right direction. But I've learned a little bit better techniques since then on how to actually do it the right way to move stuck stools. So I would do this every day if you are constipated. You can also use some tallow or some good quality fat or good quality oil, just don't use seed oils, to massage when you're doing this massage. And the oils can actually kind of end up hydrating your colon a little bit and seeping through into your skin, so that can be helpful. You also want to get at least 1 cup of fermented foods in. This could be fermented veggies, sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurt, kefir, but you do want to prioritize fermented veggies over fermented dairy because they are known for being better for helping constipation, whereas fermented dairy is better for helping with diarrhea. Okay, you want to eat an animal-based or ancestral diet. So you want to eat mostly nose-to-tail animal foods, meat, organ meats, bone broth, seafood, eggs, dairy. You also want to eat some fruit. You can eat some cooked veggies if you want, but keep fiber, plants, grains, and beans very minimal. Okay, you also want to eat rendered fat. So rendered fat is fat that seeps out of the fatty cuts of meat when you cook it. So this could be bacon fat or lard. It can be tallow. It can be slow cooked meat, like the fatty chunks. So if you cook a brisket and you see that like fat cap on it that's been slow cooked for a while, that is an awesome thing. Any fat that seeps out of that is going to be good. Any meat you cook that has fat seep out of it, save it and cook something in it later. That's going to be really good for you. So, also just eat a good amount of healthy animal fat in general. All of this is just going to help lubricate your stools better and make them easier to pass. Okay, you want to get enough magnesium, calcium, potassium, and sodium in, because these minerals are all very important for contracting and relaxing your colon muscles to be able to effectively conduct what's called peristalsis, which is this wave-like contraction that happens in your colon and moves your stools along. So for calcium, look for things like dairy. You can use eggshells. You can either throw them into your bone broth when you're making them, or you can actually boil them, bake them, and then ground them into a powder. Or you can have salmon roe, prawns, sardines, anchovies, cuttlefish, things like that. For magnesium, look at mackerel, tuna, halibut, sardines, anchovies, shellfish, pear, blueberries, strawberries, Parmesan, dried fig, and dark chocolate. For potassium, pork, beef, lamb, salmon, bananas, dates, avocados, potatoes, kiwi, guava, sardines, halibut, trout, anchovies, beets. For sodium, look for high quality mineral salts or seafood. Those are just a few. It's not an exhaustive list, but those are some great examples of where to get those nutrients in. All right, you want to ditch the laxatives. So don't take laxatives ideally. I know that sometimes if you're constipated, you're already stuck in this trap, so I'll get into that in a second. But if you can avoid them from the get-go, do so, because they're going to cause a lot of issues down the road. Now, if you're already taking laxatives, you do want to get off of those, even natural ones like senna, because senna works by irritating your gut lining, so it's not good for you. It's really not something you should take more than once in a blue moon. So you want to get off laxatives. What you want to do to be able to do this is address the root cause, do everything else on this checklist every single day. Then you can start to move off of it. Now, this depends on how you are. Somebody who is cannot go without taking laxatives at all, you're probably going to want to more gradually decrease off this, or you can replace your laxatives with an enema once or twice a week for now. But if you can just get off of them and kind of weather the hard beginning and then start having your own normal stools, that is ideal. But like I said, if you have a really severe case, you can gradually come off of the laxatives. Make sure you're working on the other root causes at the same time, but recognize that laxatives cause dependence. They kind of turn off those things your body normally has to do to have a bowel movement. So they weaken peristalsis, they weaken your ability to move the stools along, to contract your colon, to divert minerals there to help make that happen. So some laxatives kind of artificially bring more water in, so they don't allow your body to naturally lubricate properly. So yeah, in short, get off of laxatives, whether that's gradual or cold turkey. You need to get off of them to heal your constipation. So then make sure everything upstream is working well. Your colon is the very last part of your digestion, so if anything upstream isn't working properly, it will pass the burden on to your colon. If you are stressed when you're eating constantly, if you are eating too often, if you have low stomach acid, all of that will lead to your food not being broken down thoroughly enough. You won't absorb as much nutrients out of it, so you won't be able to make as much digestive enzymes to break your food down thoroughly, and you'll have a lot of excess waste, and that'll just add to the load that your body has to get rid of in your stools and make you more constipated. So some other examples of things that could be wrong. I mentioned low stomach acid and stress. You could also have low bile flow. You could have low digestive enzymes. You could have leaky gut. You could have gut dysbiosis. There are other problems that can occur, but you really want to narrow down what other gut issues you have. Make sure your digestive system is working like an effective machine and that you're working on healing all of your issues at the same time. So then you can also eat some fruit or drink some fruit juice. My clients that used to deal with constipation tell me that stewed apples, prunes, apple juice, and cranberry juice are some of the best for helping them to stimulate bowel movements. So this is something you can do that does not cause any dependence, but it's not necessarily a root cause fix. It's something that can kind of stimulate a bowel movement more short term. If you are very constipated, you're probably like, what the heck? Fruit juice is not going to help me go. I know, but down the road, as the more you heal, these natural things can start to work. I've had clients that were severely constipated and they start working on the root cause, changing their diet, managing stress, working on their gut microbiome, working on their digestive health. And then these things like water with lemon in the morning, eating stewed apples, having some fruit juice ends up helping, taking a magnesium supplement. These things that didn't work when they were super constipated start being enough to kind of stimulate things. So they are worth doing for a lot of people. All right, so then you want to really calm your mind and relax. If you are stressed, that will inhibit your ability to have a bowel movement. So if that's you, you need to identify a few things. What is stressing you out? How can you physically change things in your life to decrease stress? How can you change the way you view things to decrease stress? How can you simplify your life and schedule? And what are a few relaxing things you can add to your life to help calm your mind and make you feel relaxed? If this is a big problem for you, go back, listen to that again, and I would journal about this and really brainstorm how you can do these things. Very last thing, forget about it and trust your body. Dwelling on, I'm constipated, I have to go have a bowel movement, my stomach hurts, this doesn't feel good, when am I going to go, is my body broken? No, don't do that. I know it's hard. I know it's easy to start getting down that rabbit hole. If you are mentally, catch yourself and start shifting things in your mind. So you really want to start doing all the things on this list every single day, and beyond that, kind of forget about it. If you find yourself dwelling on the fact that you're constipated, remind yourself that worrying literally won't help anything and it will actually make it worse. Remind yourself you're doing the things on this list every single day that will help you heal your constipation at the root. And remind yourself that your body knows how to have bowel movements. It's just gotten out of balance, but you are doing the exact things that will bring it back into balance and bring it back to that state where it's working optimally. It knows how to do this. You are not broken. Your body can have bowel movements. Remind yourself that other people have healed. I have healed. I had constipation for 10 years and I have bowel movements pretty much every single day now. I don't have bloating anymore. I don't have gas anymore. I've helped a lot of other people overcome constipation. You can too. Just remind yourself you're not broken. You're doing the things to help you heal. And once you remember that, just try to focus on something else. Now, not focusing on it is not helpful advice. So instead, find other things to do. An important part of healing that's rarely ever talked about is doing things you love. If you love to play guitar, make sure you have time in your day to do that. If you love to go outside in nature, make sure you have time to do that, because then you'll be actually having things in your life where you're excited about it and you're doing it and you're in the moment, and you're not going to focus on the fact that you're constipated. If you're doing these things that you're excited about, you're going to be like, whoa, it's so pretty out. I love being outside. That was such a nice hike. I got to go in the water. I love going in the water. You can tell what I love to do. But anyway, it's really important to have these other things in your life that draw that excitement. You will enjoy them even more when you're not constipated, but start now with doing those things. So then just another note, if you're able to do several of these things on this checklist before you normally have a bowel movement, that will help a ton. So for example, if you get up and you drink some water that has a pinch of salt in it, and you go do a workout, and then you do your colon massage, and then you have a really good breakfast that follows all of these principles outlined below, and then right after breakfast, you give yourself a relaxed opportunity to go where your knees are above your hips. You are combining a bunch all right before the time you're most likely gonna have a bowel movement, and that will make you way, way more likely to go. That is what I did that helped a lot. And in the past 7 years, there's been a few times like when I moved or gone on vacation where I get out of my routine, stress is a little higher. I've had a few times there where I miss a few days and I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel good. And when that has happened, this is what I double down on. I drink a little extra water, drink a little extra coffee, really get a good workout in, and really make sure I set aside that time to have that relaxed opportunity to go. And that makes a huge difference. Now, don't forget, you can get a written copy of the constipation checklist down below. It's completely free, and that can help you on overcoming your constipation. And if you want to learn more about healing your constipation and gut issues at the root naturally, consider subscribing because I share about that stuff all the time. Thank you so much for watching.